People born on the 28th. We'll get into that number quite often, and we'll get into that later. But, you know, just very quickly, 2 and 8 is 10, 1 and 0 is 1. 1 is masculine energy. How do you know that? Alpha starts with A. A is the first letter. The English language is coded based off numerology. What do ones like to do? They like to argue. A lot of people who argue for a living are lawyers and attorneys. Argues, first vowel A. Lawyer, attorney, first vowel A. What do? They argue the law A. So people who have one energy, like Sheryl Sandberg, who's a 28, or Jessica Alba, who are 28. By the way, probably like the one of the few women who are self-made billionaires who didn't get it divorcing people. So again, it shows you that numerology supersedes even gender.
That's awesome.
What about Taylor Swift? What's she at?
Taylor Swift is a snake, and we can talk about that.
Let's do it.
Taylor Swift is born December 7th, 1989. No, I'm not sure if that's her. December 7th. Right, look it up real quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up right now.
I think it's December 7th, 89. Damn, I usually have it off the top of my head.
It is December 13th, 89.
Okay, so December 13th, 89. She's a 7 life path, but you know, her and Elon have had some problems, haven't they?
Yeah.
Also, she's a loner.
Yeah, she's a snake. She's a snake. Snake and pig are enemy signs. So you're always gonna see that. AOC. That's someone else who had a problem with Elon. AOC is born 1989, the year of the snake. So you're going to see Steve Bannon. Someone, shout out to Steve. Someone I consider a patriot. Steve Bannon is a snake. And again, he's been going at Elon. And Steve. Elon is a pig. Pig and snakes are enemy signs. So you're going to see this all throughout life, all throughout history. And we can just go through the enemy sign combinations right now. The first enemy sign combination is the horse and the rat. Does that explain why Kobe and Shaq didn't like each other?
Oh, yeah.
By the way, you know, let's R.I.P. Kobe. But Kobe was born 1978, the year of the rat. Sorry. He was born 1978, the year of the horse. And he died in 2020, the year of the rat.
Wow.
Enemy signs. The next enemy sign combination is the ox and the goat. You know that one well. And when it comes down to people who are oxes and goats, we can see this throughout history. I'm going to spend some time on this one.
Please.
When it comes down to China, the communist regime in China started the country October 1949. 1949 is the year of the ox. They made a mistake by invading Vietnam in 1979, their enemy year, and they got their asses whooped. This is what happens when you do things in your enemy year. And quite frankly, if the Chinese want to invade Taiwan in 2027, good luck to you doing that in your enemy year, because that's when they're actually planning on doing it. Things
could change. It probably won't be 2027, given they pay attention to numerology, unlike a lot of Western governments.
Or they could do it next year.
They pay attention to this stuff, but do they actually apply it? I'm not sure the whole government applies. I'm pretty sure the Chinese president does.
Yeah, Xi Jinping definitely does.
Yeah, he's a snake who is born 1953, year of the snake, and he came to power in 2013, the year of the snake, and he's president for life. Now, the reason the snake could do that is because he was basically the first president of China. Mao was a snake.
Wow.
So people who are snakes and oxes do very well. So in a ox nation, snakes will rise. But getting back to what I was saying between enemy signs, ox and goat, NATO, founded 1949, the year of the ox, and Russia, founded 1991, year of the goat. They have a proxy war going on in Ukraine right now. You know, one of the things I love about numerology and astrology, because I was always a historian. I'd probably be a historian if I wasn't a numerologist and astrologer. I always loved history. And one of my loves about history was studying World War II. How did a prostitute from Vienna named Adolf Hitler basically become one of the most powerful men in world history? And by the way, he was that. No matter if you like him or not, he definitely was one of the most powerful men in world history.
Absolutely was.
But he was born in the year of the ox. He had Europe under control in 1941, year of the snake. So the ox, Hitler, is on top of the world in 1941, year of the snake. And then what happened? 1943, he loses Stalingrad. He loses Kursk, the biggest tank battle in world history. That's it. It was only a matter of time before his regime collapsed.
Russia was
everything happened in his enemy year. Next one. There's another ox by the name of Saddam Hussein. Saddam Hussein was born 1937, year of the ox. He took over Iraq in 1979, the year of the goat. So we have someone who came to power in his enemy year. He destroyed Iraq. Iraq was the crown jewel of the Middle East. He absolutely destroyed it. But let's go into the history. First Gulf War, 1991, year of the goat. Next Gulf War, 12 years later, 2003, year of the goat. So we have the ox who gets deposed in a goat year, just like Hitler started losing the war. And we got one more example, because I got plenty of these. When it comes down to history, if you understand numerology and astrology, yo, you have such a cheat code in life. It is such a cheat code when you get this stuff. One
more example.
Barack Obama was born in the year of the ox. He signed a deal with Iran, 2015. That was his enemy year. Didn't work out too
well. No.
Yeah.
That was probably the worst deal of his administration. And Barack Obama did some fucked up shit. That was I honestly believe that was a money laundering operation, because he gave the Iranians about $2 billion in unmarked bills, so the Treasury Department couldn't track the money. It was basically a money laundering operation, because I'm 100% certain that the Iranians kicked some of that money back to Obama.
Garrett, I want for the audience, you have a very strong base of loyal followers and growing, not just in America, but across the world. And yes. I just want to say, for those in our audience today who aren't very familiar with how you got your start, how you've gotten into numerology, you stated before that you got into it because of 9/11. Would love if you could elaborate for our audience today and talk about 9/11, all of that, so they can understand you better.
On September 11th, I woke up and I saw, the Twin Towers burning, and I thought I was watching the movie Die Hard. That's what I thought. I thought it was a Bruce Willis wood. And then, I woke up and I'm like, why is the movie on at 8 o'clock in the morning? Doesn't make any sense. And then when I saw that second plane hit, I was like, whoa, this shit's real. So, one of the things is, throughout that day, like right after I saw that happen, I rolled up a blunt. I went outside and I smoked one for all the people, who died. It is what it is, man. I went out there and I showed my respect to them. That's how I paid respect. And then, I saw that the first plane to hit the World Trade Center was Flight 11. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. And then, I saw that, the Twin Towers look like an 11 side by side. I saw they both had 110 stories. And I'm like, wait a second, this is kind of unusual. If there's anything else here. And then I saw the Pentagon, 11 letters, New York City, 11 letters, Afghanistan, 11 letters, Shanksville, Pennsylvania, again, Shanksville, 11 letters. I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I started, going deeper and deeper into this. I'm like, wait a second, is someone doing something on purpose? And what hit me was, like I told you guys, I'm a historian. I love history. And I always remember that the Great War ended, World War I, which wasn't called World War I at the time. It was called the Great War.
Great War.
And it ended on 11/11 at exactly 11 o'clock. Not 10:55. They're still fighting bullets.
11 o'clock,
11 o'clock. So you have 11, 11, 11. That's when they stopped the war. At that point, I'm looking at all the 11s. I'm looking at the police code for emergency, which is 9/11. I'm like, wait a second, is someone doing something on purpose? Because at that point, I saw smoke. And then I started investigating Al-Qaeda, Osama bin Laden, and I saw Al-Qaeda was founded on August 11th. And I'm like, wait a second, the organization they're blaming on doing this was founded on the 11th? I'm like, yo, something ain't right. And then, throughout history, you see Al-Qaeda hit Madrid, Spain. On March 11th, they hit Mumbai, India. On July 11th, I mean, their three biggest terrorist attacks were all on 11 days. So at this point, I'm like, okay, there's no way this is a coincidence. And it was about 2002 at this point. And I decided I'm going to go to all the top numerologists and talk to them. And, I got professional courtesy. These people talked to me on the phone. And I asked them, do you think it's possible that the elite are using numerology to plan terrorist attacks? They all said I was crazy. They all said this is nonsense. That's not how numerology works. And then I figured out all of these people were poor. And I'm thinking, wait a second.
Why am I taking advice from them?
If you guys are the best at what you guys do,
why are they poor?
Why are you poor? It didn't make any sense to me. So at that point, threw all the numerology books away, threw everything away, and I just started studying people. George W. Bush, 11 letters. Barack Obama, 11 letters. And by the way, Obama's the most interesting one of all. Obama, born 8/4/1961, 8/4/1961, adds up to 29, 29 is 11. He became president in 2009, 209, adds up to 11. He was president when he was 47 years old.
Wow.
I'm like, okay, we know what's going on here. And then I start looking at the list of all the greatest 11s throughout, American history. Obviously Donald Trump is the greatest now, but before then, the greatest Republican president in modern American history was Ronald Reagan. He was an 11 life path. A lot of people don't know this. Joe Biden is pretty much nothing. He's brain dead right now. But 20 years ago, that boy had a mouthpiece on him. He was really good. He's an 11 life path as well. So what I started noticing was a lot of these 11s tend to be in positions of power politically. You can go to Muammar Gaddafi, who ran Libya from 1969 to 2011. He's born 6/7/1942, adds up to an 11. He was in control of a country for 40 freaking years. Do you understand the type of charisma you have to control a country for 40 freaking years? Hosni Mubarak, born 5/4/1928, was in charge of Egypt for about 40 freaking years. I don't care what you think about their politics. I don't care if you're leftist or rightist. They're extremely good at what they do to stay in power for 4 decades. And I started looking at this. Tony Blair, another 11. So you start looking at this, and it's not just politicians. You start looking at athletes. Michael Jordan is an 11. And I noticed 11s are the best athletes. Michael Jordan, born 2/17/1963, adds up to an 11. Michael was Kobe Bryant's mentor. Kobe Bryant is born 8/23/1978, adds up to an 11. And again, if you add up all the numbers together, I did the math for you guys. You can, do it yourself. I'm not going to waste time doing every single one. But who was who did Kobe mentor? Kyrie Irving. And Kyrie Irving is born 3/23/1992, and he's an 11. And by the way, Kyrie's all into numerology. Kobe is the 11th letter, K. Kyrie, the 11th letter, K. So this is all over, whether you look at sports, whether you look at politics, whether you look at world events. Katrina, you're going to notice a lot of these terrorist attacks or natural disasters happen on 11 days. The worst hurricane. The worst...
what was Helene in North Carolina?
What's that?
Helene in North Carolina. Hurricane.
It probably had some 11 energy. I just don't remember that one off the top of my head, but I know Katrina was the worst one.
It was horrible.
Yeah,
and Katrina happened on the 29th. 2 and 9 adds up to an 11. Katrina starts with a K. They told you. They told you what it was. You just have to be able to read between the lines. And to some people, I sound crazy right now.
No, you don't.
But some people are watching this. I'm going to look crazy to them. But I want you to understand something. This is how the elite run things. This is what they use. This is the knowledge they have. And they're telling you to read the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, all the other religious books, but they are using numerology and astrology. And I basically just proved that. No one can prove me wrong. I did not tell any lies here.
No.
All
this
that
is like
stuff
the movie
is absolutely real.
You ever watch a movie Pi? Such a great film. You have, right?
Well,
yeah. And he notices like the numbers, like the number of God, right? And it's like, this reminds me of that. It's like where he decodes the universe, so to speak. And, for a lot of people, I think, if they want to look for answers, maybe this is it. I don't know. I'm personally, I'm skeptical, but, the universe is a weird place.
Men lie. We know women lie, but numbers never lie. Remember that.
That's good.
Numbers are God's language. That is how God, or what I call the prime creator, communicates us. Numerology is a gift from the prime creator.
You're right.
He gave us a path.
So you know
what? The English language is basically covered with numerology because the people who created the English language, they used numerology in its creation.
So what do you say about gematria?
Listen, it's real. The only difference is you can change names, you can't change birthdays.
Okay, got it.
So, that's the difference. But yeah, I use gematria all the time. We just start talking about Kobe K, Kyrie K. K is the 11th letter. It's all there. Katrina K. It's all there. By the way, the biggest crash in Wall Street history, October 29th, 1929. Again, on the 29th. It's always there, guys. Doesn't matter if it's a natural disaster, a financial meltdown, or a war. It's always around those dates.
let's shift a little bit. We're talking about world leaders, right? And their impact. Most are life path 11s, most of the dictators. Can we talk for a moment about Vladimir Putin, October 7th, 1952?
Yeah. He's a very, very smart man.
Very.
He's a 7 life path. And quite frankly, we need to be friends with Russia. Russia is not our enemy. Russia is the deep state's enemy. Russia is not America's enemy. We need to have a pact with Vladimir Putin. And quite frankly, I think that's still possible.
I think so too.
But if you want...
I think so too, yeah.
And if you go and you look at Vladimir Putin, he has a very, very interesting history. Vladimir Putin is born in the year of the dragon. He came to power in 2000, which is the year of the dragon. So you have a dragon coming to power in a dragon year, and he's been running that country like a strong man for a long time. Let's make no mistake. Russia is a mob-run dictatorship. There is no doubt about that. But I can tell you with everything I know, Vladimir Putin loves his country.
He does.
Joe Biden doesn't love America. He just wants to steal as much money as possible.
America out.
100%. So we have a leader there who actually loves his nation. Excuse me. When it comes down to the mistake the Americans made, well, actually Hillary Clinton made, was that she decided to try to run a revolt against Vladimir Putin in 2012. What kind of moron tries to take a dragon out in a dragon year? What are you, out your mind?
He's much smarter than her.
You think you're going to depose a dragon in a dragon year? Are you out your mind, Clintons? And again, we're talking about the Clinton crime family. You know, this is a whole different ball game. We'll get into them later.
We could go into Arkansas.
We could of course. 100%, man. And
1986 was it? I mean, they helped the CIA basically launder money there. You know, with
100%.
Iran Contras. Yeah,
and the CIA made mistakes with this too. In 2002, the CIA overthrew Hugo Chavez in Venezuela. And if it was a failed coup because they went after Hugo Chavez, a horse, in 2002, a horse year.
Wow.
So again, you don't go after people in their own year. You're gonna fail. This is stuff I've seen throughout history. You just don't do that.
That's incredible.
And before I forget, let's go back through all the other enemy sign combinations. We talked about the pig in the, we talked about the rat and the horse. We talked about the ox and the goat. Let's talk about the tiger and the monkey. Those are enemy signs. The Prime Minister of India Modi is born in the tiger year. Before he was Prime Minister, he was on no-fly list to America. America founded in 1776, the year of the monkey. So the Prime Minister, before he was a Prime Minister, was actually barred from coming to America. Enemy signs. How many Hollywood actors do you know who went to jail for tax evasion?
I can't think of any.
Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes. He said that, not me. Wesley Snipes is born in the tiger year. So, see, most people will start going around saying, oh, my God, they locked up a black man. This racist-ass America. Nah, motherfucker, it has nothing to do with that. What it has to do with, he is born in the tiger year. America's a monkey year. Boom. That's what happens. You guys know of a guy named Dan Bilzerian?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, huge anti-Semite. Fuck that guy.
Dan Bilzerian is born in 1980, the year of the monkey. Do you know him and his dad are actually suing each other?
I did not know that. That's news to me.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
His dad is a tiger. So again, he can study the Quran or the Talmud all he wants. This is what the real knowledge is.
He read
right
the Talmud
here.
in what?
This is what the real knowledge is. Right here. Okay. This is above the Talmud.
He read the Talmud, which takes years
everything.
of training.
Let's go back to astrology. Who are some of those banned people on social media? Andrew Tate.
Yep.
Right? Nick Fuentes. Do you agree? Those are some of the most banned people on social media. They're both tigers.
Okay.
And America's a monkey country. You see how this? Andrew Tate shits on the city of Miami all the time. Miami is a monkey city. He's a tiger. Let's go to Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate's born in the tiger year. In 2016, he had to tap out of boxing because someone fucked up his eye in his enemy year. Yeah, Andrew, 2016 was a monkey year. You're a tiger. And then when did this son of a bitch start getting famous? 2022, the year of the tiger. So a tiger gets famous in the tiger year. It doesn't stop there. Mr. Beast is a tiger.
Okay.
He got his first $1 billion evaluation in 2022, a tiger year. And this one you're going to love. Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is born 1962, the year of the tiger. He made his first name for himself in 1986 with the movie Top Gun. Top Gun was made in the year of the tiger, 1986. He remade Top Gun for Top Gun 2 in 2022, which is again a tiger year. You see how this works? It doesn't matter where you go with this. I'm always going to be able to connect it because I understand how energy works.
You talk a lot about countries, right? And how you've been able to talk about how different countries will experience boons and difficult times based on, for example, the years they were founded. If you look at a country, right, and you look at the year that it was founded, can you essentially predict events that will occur in that location based on numerology?
Exact events? No, but I can say if it's going to be a good or bad year for the currency, for the people within the country. And we can go down the list. The year of the snake starts on January 29th, which is basically 48 hours from now. And the UK is going to get hit. The UK is found in the pig year.
Good.
So the UK is going to get hit hard in 2025. I encourage the Trump administration to put sanctions on that country until they release all political prisoners who have been arrested for their tweets. For God's sake, Vladimir Putin doesn't put as many people in prison as the UK does. It's a police state.
Wow.
It's a literal police state. And, you know, I don't like Andrew Tate. I really despise that son of a bitch. But when it comes down to it, he's the lesser evil. And at this point, I would have no choice but to support someone I hate for prime minister. It's a mind-boggling that I would say something like that. But we can't have fucking people who protect pedophiles.